Hello, everyone. This is JPL, and today I'm joined with
Christopher!
yes, we're a podcast naming brackets. Anyway, how are you doing, Christopher?
Not bad. We are finally done with rehearsals. 6 weeks of rehearsals, and like for those weeks we work 6 days a week. So now I finally have 2-day weekends. I'm so happy about. I feel so good. It's a little rough going back to the monotony, but in general, I prefer this life and schedule, or less schedule. So yeah, now finally I'll have a life again because I just legitimately wasn't living a life.
And you're opening up Jesus.
That's a weird phrasing right there. I'm opening up Jesus.
The show that you're
opening. I thought you were talking
Jesus.
Personally. No, actually,
no.
We're not opening. This is actually a second year run. For who knows how long. It's bound to come back, I believe, but not for a very long time. I'd give it max 5 years. Sorry, minimum. My bad. There's my brain. Minimum 5 years until it returns to stage. But it could be way longer.
Okay.
But, yeah. So if you don't get to see it, we have it recorded at the very least. I think it's a good show. I haven't seen the recording of it yet. That's been on my list to do. But I've seen a few Sight and Sound shows, and the ones I've seen recorded, not because of the fact that they were recorded, but I just didn't think they were solid shows, and I think this is a solid show. So
which shows were those?
The first one I saw was Voices of Christmas. That one is Around the Company. Wow, should I be saying what I'm saying? Okay, I'll
be vague.
I can't say it.
Sure.
I'll be vague. Some of my coworkers aren't huge fans of it. I can't speak for the rest of the company.
Okay.
But and then I saw Noah next, which is their first real show of what I've seen. The Voices of Christmas doesn't really count. Noah, Branson has baggage with that show. Not only
good
was
or
that
bad
baggage.
Oh.
Not only is that the show of 2020, and not only is the set ridiculous, but also I found this out. I did not know about this. When Branson opened, it did not do the Noah show for not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 years in a row. It was the Branson location opened 2008, so it was just a rough time financially for them to bring in a new show. I don't know all the specific details past that, but when the place opened, they literally did the same show 4 years in a row. They probably threw in Miracle of Christmas a few of those years, but man, 2 years is rough enough. Which also, fun fact, there are 2 people in this year who have done Jesus all 4 years of its live production.
Nice.
So 2 years in Lancaster, 2 years here in Branson, which is pretty crazy. We had one actor who was actually our primary Jesus this past year, who did it for 3, but he moved on. So he would have been 4. But anyways, so we have 3 years, whatever, last year. Anyways, random thoughts. Let me finish the original point, and then the other one I saw was Moses, which was in my mind better than Noah. I don't remember it so well.
Moses.
Oh, did you see Moses?
I saw Moses. Yes.
Oh, you did.
I did. Of the ones that I have seen, I think that was my least favorite.
My biggest issue with that is the whole time you're anticipating the the Red Sea. Right? That's the
Yes.
big climax of the thing, and that is so underwhelming. Because
Especially
understandably,
since
it's hard to
they're
pull off.
so on the nose with the Jesus symbolism with
Uh,
that one. That's like, okay.
I will say I do appreciate that because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
the whole Bible points back to Jesus that they want to reflect that. So I think that's really cool. I don't remember how they specifically did that in Noah. Sorry. I remember Noah. I don't remember how they did that with Moses, but I just remember the Red Sea being a huge letdown and just, you know.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Mhm. So what shows have you seen? Moses.
So I've seen Moses, I've seen Joseph.
Okay.
That
How
was
was
my
that?
first show. Oh, I liked it. I think that was my
I
first professional show that I ever saw.
wow.
And that it was great. It was crazy. And then I saw Jonah.
I From what I hear, a lot of people really liked Joseph, but it's such an outdated show in terms of
Outdated?
technology.
Right.
So
Yeah.
unfortunately, it doesn't exist anymore
Unless they redo it.
unless they redo it. Which the current show, David, we had a David way back then.
Hmm.
Um, I think it was called Songs of David or something. So they redid David. Um,
Okay.
I will stop talking there because I don't remember what they have or haven't announced. And
Okay.
I know we don't have much, but I've already said more than I probably should have at this
Okay.
point.
That's fine.
Um, but what was your thoughts on Jonah? I haven't seen that one. I heard they went for a more cartoony angle with that.
Cartoony. Um a lot. uh, right. The comedy was certainly cartoony. Just by opening up, you have Jonah. He's
Mhm.
praying. God speaks to him. It's like, Jonah, listen to me. And like one of the first lines is like, Jonah responds to God like, "Not now, mother." Then you realize it's God speaking to him. Uh, I remember that line specifically. If I don't remember anything else from Jonah, that's the one thing I will remember. It's
Wow.
it's funny, but it's also like, that's a
Yeah.
line.
I feel like from what I'm just observing overall, and I feel like that's just the overall thought of the company, that they've grown significantly within the past 10 years. Um, I mean, I'm not necessarily a judge of that, neither are you, dare I say.
Right.
Um, but again, like after kind of seeing like Noah and then seeing Jesus, I'm like, Jesus is such a solid show that, Noah just is so in comparison. Like I
Right.
hear like the big reveal of being in the ark was amazing. That's what everyone says. Like that reveal is amazing.
That would
But
be that would be the big spectacle. As
yeah.
in Jonah, the big spectacle was the whale.
Oh really?
Oh, it was beautiful. Like they got because like the thing's swinging around, it's swinging into the audience, like
Oh,
going around. It was like a spectacle. It was great. I
man.
really enjoyed that.
I'm so excited for you to come out here because I'm really curious of your thoughts on Jesus.
Okay.
Because I mean, we definitely have. I think the thing with Jesus is that we have the core of Jesus is the set changes
Okay.
more than anything else. Like, obviously, we don't have a big whale for Jesus, and
No.
we don't have a big ark for Jesus. So, like, that's not necessarily what we can. I don't remember what Moses had as a big spectacle. You know what I mean?
It didn't have any
It,
spectacle.
Yeah.
You had like the Red Sea thing, but like other than that, Moses didn't really have a spectacle. I guess the burning bush, but I don't even remember that.
the burning bush was pretty like center stage.
Right.
I would say that it would be the Israelites working felt the most massive.
Yeah, but that was like the beginning of the show.
Yeah. With Jesus, the big open wide set thing doesn't feel huge in my opinion, which is right at the end. But what we do have huge is like when we go to Jerusalem, we have these massive walls and such. And like the fact that we have, just constant revolving sets in comparison to what Esther is, it's literally one set. There are a few moving parts. I haven't seen the show. This is what I'm hearing, but it all lives on one set.
Okay.
So it's going to be, I guess, almost in the vein of, say, like the box theater shows, where again, just one set that moves around on the set, focusing on different aspects, different parts. So I'm fascinated of how that's going to be for sure. Definitely less physical, so I'm a little excited about that. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know what David is going to be like yet. That's the show that they're premiering in Lancaster this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
so sorry. One other thing. I think one interesting thing where I think about like the growth of the company is the fact that one of their first shows was called In the Beginning. Have I seen the show? No. Do I want to see the show? No. Because from what I'm hearing, it's literally the first 3 chapters of Genesis stretched out into 2 hours.
That interesting.
And that is not a show I would want to see. So
how do they tackle the nudity?
I have no idea. We have like this little like banner in the lobby that I've seen. Now like there are like if I get the opportunity to see it, like I'd sit down and watch it, but it's not like something like I'm chasing after to see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like how do you stretch out a show that I would think can only be done max in 20 minutes? You know what I mean? But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Maybe David isn't as good as Esther and Jesus, from what I'm hearing. I mean, I've literally not heard anything
is going to
about
be their spectacle.
that.
For sure.
Yeah, because that's such a new show, I won't give anything away about David. I've heard a few things, but I'm really curious. Like, is the storytelling going to be on par with Jesus and Esther? Because I've heard a few negative reactions to Esther, but generally, like, it's a very well received show. So it's like, is David gonna follow in those footsteps in it being a well written show, or is it gonna be more of a spectacle based show? And at the end of the day, I don't pay that much attention to the dialogue the whole show, but there are moments that make you cringe. They make you cringe, and they're gonna make you cringe every single show. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna remember it. There's no parts in Jesus that make me cringe. There might be a few lines I'm just like, what? But there's nothing that like makes me cringe every single show. So if Esther and David have those moments, I'm not gonna have fun. Miracle Christmas is gonna be rough because I don't feel like that's gonna be the best show. But no, I will stop that because I'm afraid of saying too much. Anyways,
so we just closed off our show.
Okay, what show did you guys do?
It was an original piece called The Darkest Evening about Robert Frost.
He wrote something, right?
He was a poet. So
he was a poet.
You've definitely heard his poems. They're probably the most.
What's that one that I feel like Everyone should know.
The road less traveled by.
Really? I feel
That's
like okay. I probably here's the thing. The name Robert Frost sounds like he wrote something Mockingbird related, but that was Poe,
no.
right? No,
Mockingbird?
some
No.
Mockingbird thing.
No.
Like
The
that sounds like
Raven.
a
The
Poe
Raven
thing.
is Poe.
The Raven. Yeah. See,
Mockingbird is
I
someone else.
I mean, I'm not thinking of To Kill a Mockingbird, but
Yeah.
because that title is so significant, that might be affecting me. Anyways, no, I probably read that road traveled poem
Anyway,
in literature
two
class.
roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveller, long I stood, and looked down at one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how no, yet knowing how way leads on to leads on to way. I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in the wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that made all the difference.
It sounds familiar. I just can't really pull it out of my
See,
brain right
like
now. You know
that's
what I
like
mean?
basic. That's basic like high school English 101
Right.
that you would have learned early on. So we've definitely heard of Robert Frost. So
Oh, I definitely have, and I believe that would have been the poem I read from him, but I cannot say for sure. I wish I could.
anyway, um,
Anyway, Christopher's dumb. Let me continue on with my story, said
so
John.
we finished the show. Um, I had a nice second weekend. Didn't screw up at all. Really.
Good.
So that was good. A little bit disappointed that the turnout wasn't as great, but
Mm-hmm.
it's this thing. The show is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty weird, but it's fine. It's good.
So you said the show was weird?
Yeah, it's yeah. It is weird.
Okay. That's rough to say about an original play.
I mean, it's a strange concept. Uh,
Do you feel like it's more like a movie
okay.
concept than a play concept?
So I mean that most likely, but no. The play is based off of an event where Robert Frost planned to commit suicide in a swamp.
Sorry, that's the whole play.
It's kind of like the events leading to it is the play, and then his turnaround saying no, I won't, and then it ends.
What?
It's
Like I don't want to be negative or especially not seeing it, but like that has to be like a really good play for that to exist. You know what I mean?
see, it's a really cool concept. They have some
Uh-huh.
really cool ideas, but it's just I don't think that there was enough. It's so focused on one character,
Mm-hmm.
and like those can work, but like I don't know. I feel like I wanted more of something else.
Right.
And plus, like it's not. It's such a wordy show because it's Robert Frost. You're dealing with him and his inspiration for poetry,
Mm-hmm.
and so like there's not a whole lot of just levity, and the levity there isn't really. It's there, it's natural, but it's not great. Um, so
I hate to be like so negative, but it just
don't be negative.
I mean, don't be negative, or
Yeah,
don't be honest.
Don't be negative, because like you have nothing honest to say about it. But say what you're gonna say.
That makes no sense. Like, here's the thing. I love experimental concepts, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's also like, I feel like if this is not as good as it could be, I feel so bad, you know?
I mean, I'm also like comparing it to like the 3 others that we've done. And like, those were fantastic shows. Yeah.
Were those originals or not?
Those were all originals.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the 4 other originals that we've done.
Oh, 4. Okay, still. Okay, like here at the end of the day, even if it wasn't that amazing show, like I'm still really proud of the person to have a published. I mean, that's not the right word. Performed show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's a team of students writing it together.
Okay.
Doing research on like Virginia history, and so a lot of it is they have to stick with history and be very factual about it because it's research that they have to do.
It seems more like a movie, though. Like
that is a criticism that like we've had. It's like a lot of these concepts would work better in film than actual live performance. For instance, again, there's a part where like he's drowning and like he has a microphone on. They wrote that in the script without even thinking about the fact that we have a microphone on. Yet we went with it. And luckily it worked. Not. So,
did you guys use water?
Yes, there was water on stage. There was a whole little lake on stage, which was pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool!
I mean, pond.
Still,
the edge of a lake. Yeah, that
you guys
is
had
cool.
to use water on stage.
It looked beautiful under the lighting. That's for
sure.
It's my favorite part of the set. But yeah,
like that. I mean, I bet that was hard to do, but the fact that you guys actually went for it makes me so happy.
You went for it. There's also one other thing that they wrote that just would be impossible to do. They wrote constantly throughout the story, you have a butterfly that keeps popping in and out. You can't do that practically.
Right.
Like they were trying to do like, oh, we'll do like a puppet. We'll try doing like this mechanical thing.
That sounds so much like a movie.
Yeah, exactly. So what we ended up doing is just like whenever they mention the butterfly, we play a little sound effect, and then at the end we have this little butterfly that they'll hold in their hand.
Was this in the black box or not?
No, the tower.
The tower. Here's the thing. If it was the black box, I feel like because the black box, I feel like forces you to be more imaginative.
Right. Our set's huge. It's a swamp. It's huge. It's one of the biggest sets I've seen. So.
Because I'll say like I think it's cool to like use a sound effect to help spark imagination, but also like that's a very specific sound effect. And also,
I mean, it's not so much like we had butterfly flapping. We had like a little twinkle magical sound to go with the butterfly.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, again, I haven't seen the show. It's hard to critique.
It's hard to critique, but yeah.
I'm the fact that you guys have such a platform to do these original shows, pull them off in such a huge fashion, go as far as you guys have done is so cool, right? Like, I cannot deny that. That is really cool.
I might join their next team.
Mm-hmm.
I might try it for that, so we'll see.
Okay. Try to make things better.
I just want to add a little bit more of my creativeness into it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Let me know how that goes.
Like, it won't be for like another year when they start writing the next thing, because
keep me updated.
I'll let you know about that. Anyway,
hopefully we won't have an argument about $15 when you come here. That would stop my part of the podcast, and then I wouldn't have any updates.
How much are movie tickets again?
About 20.
Okay, so we're good.
We're good.
But yeah, my play is being read in a couple weeks.
The little student play thing, like the dual, like 2 plays in an hour thing.
What? No, not that. It's a reading of the play that I wrote for my class last semester. So we're doing a full play reading of it in a couple weeks. I'm excited for it.
Okay. Are you one of the actors in it, or
no? I'm telling my people what to do. So
okay, you get to be in control.
I'm in control.
Yay!
Which is, I would do everything myself, but that's not how teamwork goes.
Right. It's really interesting to think. I don't want this to be a huge deviation, but just like over the years, I'm just kind of like thinking I'm not that much of a writer. I can create like a few like story concepts, but I'm not a writer or like a full like a Phil Lawler storyteller. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like I tried when I was younger, and which was fun, but I just never had anything that concrete, and I had other passions that I chased after. And I'm like, it's not one of those like I give up. It's I feel like I'm better in certain things. However, I have like ideas of like really stupid cartoony shows.
Gotcha.
That's not necessarily niche in humor, but niche in humor in that it's just pure stupidity. You know what I mean? It's random and stupid.
Pure stupidity.
Oh, you want to get to that now?
What's that?
Pure flakes.
Oh. I wasn't meaning to do a transition there.
I wasn't either, but that was a little too perfect.
It's perfect, actually. Since we're talking about cartoons.
Oh my gosh.
Pure flicks. Trying it out this week.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do it like a whole lot because I was busy working.
Right.
But I did do some stuff. So right off the bat, I don't like their layout. It's
okay.
What? I'm gonna load it up right now if I'm logged in on this device.
Isn't it like a website that looks like it was made in 2015?
Yeah.
And it has like 10 movies per row or something?
No, it's not 10 movies per row. It's very complicated.
Oh, no. Do they have Roku?
Yeah, it's on Roku. So like I watched stuff on Roku, but I'm gonna...
Is the layout better on Roku, or do they use the Roku template thing?
It's all the same. It's all the same all around. So let me sign in. Yeah, so like I don't... What's my password? Don't you love it if you can't remember your password? I think this is it, but it's not. Anyway, yeah, it's a thing.
John, if you don't remember your password,
Anyway, so like I can
no,
do this. From memory.
that's serious.
I can do this from memory. I do know my password. I just have to. I have too many passwords, Christopher. It's Anyway, so yeah, the layout's not great. They don't really have. Here's a movies tab. Here's a TV series tab. Here's an animation tab. They just have meshes. Like there's a tab that says because you watched this, even though I've never watched a single thing on PureFlix.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, they don't have a watch list thing. They don't have like a my list thing to save things. The closest thing to that is a loved tab for things that I loved. But I wish there was a list thing for me to do.
You know what? I am not gonna lie. That would kind of be cool if some other platforms had a loved thing, but also then it gets confusing with the watch thing. So I don't know.
I need a watch list. I don't care for the love thing because I would keep that on my watch list at all times.
That's true. Yeah.
Another thing that is very bad for them, they don't have a continue watching tab.
Oh no.
Instead, they have a thing called history that displays everything you've seen and not just things that you're currently watching. So, in order for me to continue watching, I have to scroll through everything else that I've already seen.
So it literally is from oldest to newest.
Yes.
No.
On top of that, it's individual episodes instead of a full season. So, like just by layout itself, it's a terrible, terrible layout. But that's fine. Like,
PureFlix. Here's the thing, John. PureFlix was acquired by Sony. Sony, you should have fixed this stuff by now. This acquired thing happened like 2 years ago. You know, like here, yes, okay. PureFlix made a bad layout. Shame on them. But then Sony acquired this thing 2 years ago, or at least if I'm wrong on the details, it was a firm, their subsidiary under Sony, but still. They got acquired. They should have, had changes and updates by now. If that was about years ago, you know what I mean? It's like, what else is the point of acquiring something? Wow, I'm so disappointed. Wow.
But anyway, for content-wise, they don't have any wow factors on the front page.
Mm-hmm.
That's
probably except not even like God's Not Dead 4.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's what they have there. But I don't care about that unless I've seen the other three. I don't think they even have the other three. I don't know, because they're not promoting it. So I would have to search for it. Another thing, when you browse their things and you're like, hey, look through our list of things alphabetically, they don't have it set up where it shows everything alphabetically. Instead, they have like some kind of auto generation system where you scroll down to like the point where they load the next bit. It auto generates and starts repeating some of the same stuff over and over again. So, it's such a messy UI. But like so, and that's just the UI, and like I think that's the worst part of PureFlix. It's the UI.
I'm really surprised that's the worst part, but also yeah. You would think that they would have enough money to fix it.
Right.
Or them being acquired, they should have fixed it by now.
Anyway, So like the main things that I've watched, the first thing I watched was an episode of Hermie and Wormy.
Aw, a little nostalgia.
Yes, mainly because like I really wanted to see what their animation stuff is, because like that's a lot of things that I focus on. It's like, okay, please let there be some good animation. So I found that it's aged a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's aged a bit. The format doesn't work anymore, but I still enjoyed it. Very nice message, very good
Yeah.
message, in fact. Um, but then let's see, what else did I see? Okay, here's something. They have like these like little short films made in Lego. So I watched one about the crucifixion of Jesus in Lego. So like that's fine. I see those stuff like on YouTube all the time, but this is a streaming platform. I don't know if legally they can do that. Because Lego is a trademarked item, you pay for the streaming service and there's Lego. I don't know if they're partnered with that, but legally, I don't think you can do that. And that's fine. It's just retelling the story of Jesus and Lego, so like there's no problem with that.
So that quality was good enough?
No. I mean, yeah, they shot it with a professional camera, but like it's not stop motion. It's just stills with voiceover that could be done on YouTube. And it's on a streaming service. I watched part of an episode of the Bible Man animated series.
I'm surprised you couldn't even finish. How long are those episodes? 10, 20 minutes?
10 minutes.
So you watched part of a 10-minute episode.
Yeah. Like, I'm going to continue it. I just wasn't in the mood to, like, watch through it all.
Okay.
Yeah, it's bad animation-wise. Honestly, I feel like Hermie Wormy was better. And that was over a decade ago.
Mm-hmm. I found it interesting with the Bible Man thing. It seemed like they were more focused on telling Bible stories.
Bible Man?
Yeah. Like
Uh,
the one I only saw one episode, so maybe that's, but it was like, oh, let me tell this one story from the Bible, and they told a story from the Bible in the middle of the episode.
okay. Maybe they'll do
So,
that, but that's not what we did yet. So we're not there. I'm not there yet.
It seems like you only watched 3 minutes. So yeah, okay.
5 to be fair.
Okay.
But anyway, then I just like decided like, why don't I just watch a movie? And so it's like scrolling through movies. They don't immediately catch my eye to watch them.
They seem more like Christian rom-coms, right?
Except for one, which is not a Christian movie.
Not surprised.
I had already seen it before in high school. And I was wondering, I was like reminiscing about that earlier. So I saw that there. It's like, oh, that's this. I'm going to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I really liked it. But again, it's not a Christian movie.
What is this movie, John?
It's called The Great Debaters. And it's about this first like African American debate team to win this special thing. It's a really cool story. But not everything in that movie is very Christian. And so there are edits and cuts in this
really?
film. Yes.
Oh, is this VidAngel?
Right. So there's one scene in particular that I remember the most, and it's where like the team are like on the road at night, they're trying to get to their destination, and they stumble across a lynching. And like the man's being hung and being burned at the same time.
Right.
They cut the close up. Like they don't show the person Like even from the distance, you barely see anything, and so like there's like an obvious cut where they. Not only that, there's swearing in the film that they obviously very interesting, very interesting. They cut that dialogue, but the music is still going. So that's a special thing.
Here's the thing: if you're gonna have a movie on the platform, don't edit it. And if it is edited, have the option to watch the original. If there's an edited, don't have it on the platform. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you are robbing.
I understand like why those edits were done.
I know, but
it was like it caught me off guard because like I remember thinking,
well,
I thought there was this here. Like what happened to this?
Imagine like you're like, oh, I saw the Great Debaters movie. Let's watch it. I have it on DVD. Awesome. Put it in the DVD.
I think there's maybe nudity in the film at one point.
Uh-huh.
The original version.
So it's like, you recommend this movie and you go watch it on DVD or something. It turns out to be a slightly different movie and be like, oh, well, this wasn't there.
It's much more of an adult film when you watch it. That's for sure.
See, that's the thing. Like, dare I say, deceiving people with these edits. You know what I mean? Like, there should be some like warning. This movie, at the very least, this movie has been edited for your. At least you're aware that it's edited.
Yeah.
This movie has been edited for audiences, concerned audiences. I don't know. You're telling me there's no warning whatsoever.
There's no warning.
Same.
But yeah, I still enjoyed the movie, even though the things were cut.
Right.
I was very intrigued to see the lynching again, but like they cut that.
Mm-hmm.
I say that not because I'm for it, because like that's a very visual memory.
Right. I get what you're saying.
In fact, I think the professor even like fast forwarded a little bit when we watched it the first time in high school. I think I do remember something like that, where it's too intense for us high schoolers. It is an intense moment, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's a good movie, not because it's a Christian movie, but because it's a good story.
Right. I feel like that's a general issue of Christian content, is that it's trying to focus too much about being Christian instead of having a good story.
Yeah. So I've not watched anything else.
Okay.
I'm going to.
Right. You've been busy. I get that.
I've been busy.
So have I.
It's going to be a movie. I don't know what.
Uh-huh. So you haven't necessarily found anything that's caught your eye?
No.
Did I tell you about that one movie that had the poster edited?
What movie?
It was another David A.R. White movie where he stars in all his own movies. Okay. But so the original poster, the woman, it's like some dumb action movie that probably even wasn't that Christian of a movie. Just because Pureflix, the production company, has been renamed to Pinnacle Peak. So the streaming service is Pureflix. The production company is Pinnacle Peak now, which, as far as I understand, has not been acquired. Maybe I got the two confused, but I'm pretty positive it was a streaming service that was acquired. Regardless, I watched the trailer of the thing. The trailer was... the trailer seemed like it was edited out of The Bachelor.
Right.
Like, that was the editing style. It was rough. For an action movie. With romance. Obviously. There's David R. White, and there's said woman with a crop top and a bikini bottom.
Very nice.
and obviously some people had issue with it. So the
Obviously.
next day they released an edited poster, or I'm not gonna lie, the original looked edited as it was. So I don't know which is maybe both edited, but she had a full top, and maybe it was covering her legs, or she had shorts. I don't remember. So the darn movie had two posters. The hilarious thing to me is the fact that the woman wasn't showing any skin in the trailer. So I legitimately wonder, was the poster trying to be crossover? I don't know, man. Anyways, if that's on the platform, I'm not making you watch it. I'm curious if it even is on the platform. I'm just like, here's the thing: the movie didn't even seem that exciting to me. You know what I mean? I feel like Pinnacle Peak for David AROI is like, okay, let's make a movie where I get to go to the White House. Let's make another movie where I star in an action movie, have a romantic interest. Let's make a movie where so on, so on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My gosh. Okay, well, remember my password.
Oh, okay.
Well, apparently I misspelt it the first time, so I've been trying to use every other one. Okay. Well,
I'm surprised it didn't lock you out, but then again, I shouldn't be surprised.
oh yeah. So another thing, they have something called a coming soon tab,
Okay.
but most of that stuff is already here. So it's not very effective.
Okay. So John, the movie is called Love on the Rock. I'm curious if it's on there.
Let me look. Is that the poster?
Yeah.
Ah. Oh.
I know, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. And they tied her hair back.
Oh yeah, they did. I forgot
It's
about
here.
that.
It's here. Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it's here with the edited poster.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
That is interesting.
I can't get over that, man. Like, this is funnier than it should be. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, funnier. Is her shirt still wet? What? Is it dried? No, it's the same. It's just weird. The proportions don't even work anymore. That's way edited.
But like looking at the original one looks edited as well. You know what I mean?
Not
Like
as
you
much.
look at the graphic on her chest, like it looks like that
Yeah.
heart looks
Oh yeah.
almost flat.
Oh yeah.
Like like
That's not working.
like she has different sized breasts.
That shoulder doesn't work.
Like, so then it makes me wonder if the quote edited one is the original one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the heck are you doing?
I might watch this.
Please, if you do, tell me how it is. Not expecting anything good from it.
Yes.
What?
Anyway.
Look at that tagline. He wanted to retire. She had other plans. Oh my gosh. What is
Yeah.
this?
That I don't know what this is, but it's a film.
The film. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of films,
Yes.
I watched The Batman.
Oh my gosh. Why did I forget about that? Yes.
Yes, I watched The Batman.
Uh-huh.
It's a new movie that just came out, The Batman.
Oh, yeah, duh. Come on.
Yeah. I liked it.
Okay. Wow,
Good.
John, all that lead up for you to simply just say, I liked it.
I mean, I have to watch it again because it's a very different movie.
I get that, actually.
It's in my review, I stated this is not really a superhero movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a detective noir psychological thriller.
That ends like a superhero movie, from my hearing.
I wouldn't even say that.
Really? Okay.
I mean,
I'm going off a friend that said that to me. He's like, the first like 2 acts were like detective, which I really enjoyed, and the third act was superhero, which I didn't enjoy. That's what that friend said to me.
I think it ended like Moses, the show.
Underwhelming.
No, just like the feeling of like he leading the people and all that. It was interesting. Really cool visual. The cinematography was fantastic.
Hey, I will say, at least for the ending of the Batman, at least there's plans for a sequel.
There's a trilogy coming.
Oh, it's going to be full trilogy? Okay.
Yeah, like it was already going to be a trilogy.
Okay.
So that's cool.
That's cool. So the cinematography, that is one thing I'm hearing that a lot of people love that.
Yeah, Matt Reeves, he's good with cinematography. It's good. Very different, much more character driven, and story driven as well. And it's like the action scenes feel like an extension of the story, and not like to have a cool action scene.
Then what was Nolan in comparison?
Nolan,
that seemed very story driven from what I'm gathering.
Yeah, but this one is really story driven. Nolan was story driven, plus a lot of cool action stuff, and other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good too.
Mm-hmm.
This was more, like I said, it was much more of a psychological thing versus Nolan's thing, which is still good.
So it was funny because kind of already from like early stuff I was hearing that like early reviews, like, you know, it's a different kind of a movie. But then there's some people who are going as far to say it's better than Dark Knight Rises.
So like,
which I feel like it's too early to say.
It's better than Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, that's
well,
what
it is
some
better
people
than
have
Dark
said.
Knight Rises. I don't know if it's better than the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. Dark Knight.
Yeah.
My bad.
I knew what you meant.
They are such similar titles for one who hasn't seen them.
Right. I knew what you meant. But like, there's a big distinction between the two.
There is a big distinction. My bad.
I think that happens with every new Batman movie that comes out. This was better than this one. Mm-hmm. But like, again, I had to give it time in order to like say. I don't think it's better. I think it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there, sure. But I wouldn't say better.
Are you intending to see it a second time in theaters?
Not in regular theaters. Like, if I do see it again in theater, it's like dollar theater. Or if my sister wants to see it. But
wait, isn't sister in Texas?
She's visiting me soon.
Gotcha.
So if she wants to see it, then I might go see it.
Hopefully she's doing well. Is she doing well?
As far as I can tell.
Okay.
We'll find out when she comes. But yeah, I saw the movie in theater with a nice crowded audience.
So
I'm pretty sure my entire audience was like a softball team. Because like they all knew each other. They're all
Mhm.
like big sports guys, and they're like, "Oh, hey, look at that! Started a nice softball team here." They said that. It's like, they must be a team. I don't know if they're Liberty or not, but there they are.
So, No Way Home was definitely meant for the crowd experience,
This was not,
right?
which is one thing I can appreciate from this is that
Mhm.
this is one that I think is very timeless, and I can watch over and over again. Although there's a couple parts where it's like very dated.
Right.
There's a couple modern things, which is like again, it's used for like comedy, and also
Mhm.
show like a little creepiness of like things that could happen in our world.
Right.
You have a character who like has pretty much a Twitch chat, and like he's live on Twitch. Is like, first off, I want to thank you for this community. You guys have been very supportive. Thanks for all the follows and stuff. And like, it sounds cringy, but it's very creepy in the movie.
Okay.
Very
Gotcha.
creepy. It's funny too. But
Okay.
yeah, like it would be cringy anywhere else. But here I think it worked.
Mhm. Especially Marvel.
Oh yeah, here I think it worked because how they were portraying the character and story. That being said,
That makes sense.
there were a lot of elements that were taken straight out of comics,
Mm-hmm.
which there usually are. But like, there's a couple like plot points that I was surprised made it in this movie.
Mm.
There's like one specific comic I can point to that it's inspired by, definitely. Like there's some plot points from there that they put in the movie. I'm like, oh my gosh, they did that. That's neat. That's interesting. Um, so yeah, I'm excited for more to come.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that there's finally a good new DC universe. If this turns into a universe,
It's
at
its own
least this
thing.
trilogy,
It's its own thing.
it could inspire into a universe.
I don't know. Like maybe Warner Brothers would want to, but I don't think Matt Reeves would want that.
Right. I'm just saying it could. I'm not saying it will. But here at the end of the day, with the multiverse in mind, it is its own separate universe. Right?
It
You
is.
mentioned
The
that.
multiverse exists.
So hey, right now this has a 1 out of 1 in this universe, and that's a good sign
Yeah.
for DC.
I will say I don't know if this is like the movie that I would introduce Batman to people. I could be wrong. I personally don't feel like it is because there's just a lot of elements that are like, oh, okay. I kind
Would
of
you argue that this movie is for the Batman fan?
I would say so, considering like all the small details and Easter eggs that they put in. But that's like most films. This one was like very specifically. Oh, okay. I'm shocked they did this.
You would you'd argue that the Nolan is a better entry into Batman, right?
Yes, because like you see him at the beginning of his journey to the end, pretty much.
I will say with the new Batman movie, like just due to like the things I'm hearing about it's intriguing to me. The route that they're going with said movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's an element where I legitimately am curious enough to want to see it. Not curious enough to buy a ticket to see it in theaters, but like, oh, interesting. I want to see Nolan first.
There's one thing I think that could detract, and like something I thought about when I saw the movie. So there's a car crash that's really well done and shot, but like you spend like time inside the vehicle, and it's like the way it's shot. It's like, oh, that's a cool visual, but that looks very traumatizing. I don't know. I want to show this to Christopher. So
yeah, I remember my time. I don't know if you noticed, I crawled out the back window.
oh, you did.
I did.
Interesting.
I don't remember how specifically. I think it popped open kind of window.
Okay.
But I didn't go through the doors or the windshield. I crawled out the back window.
Mm.
Dare I say that's a fun fact of a not fun thing. But like that gives a little bit of detail of me remembering being in said upside down car. Okay, thank you. So I guess there's nothing like that in Batman. Sorry, it's the Nolan Batman.
Not to this degree, no.
Right.
Like there's car chases, of course, but I don't think there was like any flips like this. Not ones where they held the shot of the person inside the car, and like you have objects in the car, like you see the background spinning and the objects are just floating back and forth with the motion of the vehicle moving, which looks really cool. But like I see that, it's like, oh no, that can be triggering. So
thank you. Yeah, like
keeping you in my mind.
Thank you. Cinematically, like I admit that sounds cool.
Yeah,
legitimately, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't have wanted to go blind into that movie.
Oh, definitely not.
Thank you. I'll say, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but like even the car crash in Doctor Strange, I don't watch. I look away. I still hear it going, but I'm just like, I can't.
And that's kind of like quick and vanilla.
No, they showed that car falling through that thing for 15 seconds or something.
Right,
it was long.
Yeah.
So you're saying this is longer?
It is longer. At least it feels longer.
God.
Because like they show like several seconds of the car outside flipping, then you see inside flipping. I'm surprised that the character even survived. But
I saw something on Twitter about that. I knew there was a car crash. I didn't know how significant.
Okay.
Because there are car crashes in movies all the time, right?
Yeah.
But it was funny, the typical Marvel and DC fan arguing kind of thing, right? And so like, one was pissing on Marvel, and the Marvel fans like, that car crash in that Batman trailer. Like, I'm surprised that guy survived it. It's like DC is not all that realistic, kind of thing. It was just funny. Like I was talking to a friend. I'm really. It's such a redundant argument and topic for the two fandoms to go at each other. Like, just Marvel helped establish things, and Marvel is stuck in its own gutter. Just stop. We know it. We don't have to go through this discussion again. Just enjoy what you want to enjoy, and let's hope Marvel gets better. But also, same with DC.
DC just needs to get better.
It was funny because there was someone who was comparing the Batman to No Way Home. I didn't reply, but I'm like, buddy, they're two different movies. Like, you really can't compare those to each other. You know what I mean?
Definitely not. You can't compare them.
Like, he's like, No Way Home is such a terrible CGI fest that's meant, that's based around nostalgia. Like, well, no, duh. That was the whole point of the movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Was.
And we have to, and at least compared to Endgame, I think it's a better movie, better story, so on. Like, yeah, no, duh. I mean, like I'm not saying you can't compare the two, but he did it in such a way. Obviously, if you like the Batman, fine. It's also like you're obviously just literally trying to crap on Marvel. Like, find a better argument to crap on Marvel if you're gonna crap on Marvel. I don't know. Compare, like you maybe compare the Batman against the MCU as a whole. Now, I mean, that's a huge comparison on its own, but I think that's still a telling thing. It's like, say, this is an example of a superhero movie well done that isn't completely a superhero movie, but it still is, and it shows that it's popular. A lot of people are liking this, and Marvel can expand out of its formulas and try big and different things. Like that I feel like is a better fair argument. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, like I was saying, because this Batman movie, you know, from what you said and what everyone else seems to be saying, takes such a different take on the superhero movie genre, makes me intrigued, and also really surprises me how intrigued I am by this superhero genre. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I never thought I would have been. You know, because I talked about that going into Marvel. I thought it was going to be an explosion fest essentially, and it wasn't. So like to see different variations of the superhero genre, I'm intrigued. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, what can you do within it? And so to hear that the Batman is a radical example of that makes me intrigued in it.
Mm-hmm. I saw a 10:30 at night showing. It's a 3-hour film.
Wow.
So I got out by 2 because of commercials.
How long are the previews?
I did typically like 15 to 30 minutes.
At the IMAX, it's 10 to 15.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, starting at the showtime.
Yeah. Like, but you know,
That's a lot.
it's fine. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. We did a midnight showing of the play.
Are you kidding me?
We did. And I was the one doing the mixing for that one.
Oh
so.
no!
It
Hey,
was
at least you survived. And
it was pretty fun.
I
You
bet
know,
it was, but
when
come
you're like
on.
pretty loopy at midnight, it was a really fun time. I was laughing at things a lot more.
I bet, but it's just like, don't make the people work more than they have to, kind of thing.
Right.
That's my issue. Like, hey, with the midnight hockey thing, that's a little more voluntary, and the hockey players, you know, I bet they can skip their classes if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and plus, don't those things happen more on the weekend? I could be wrong. Regardless,
Right.
when did your showing happen? Actually, no, I'm curious.
Our midnight show is Friday, of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
at
but
least
like
it's a Friday. Okay,
the
I
Friday
can't
at
be
midnight,
too
but
mad.
then like you have Saturday, which is a 2-day show, a 2-show day,
Oh,
which
that's
is
rough.
like we were done by like practically 1
day.
1 or 2, and so you have like, and then we're called back again at 12 at noon. So that's not a lot of time to sleep and do stuff.
I don't like that.
Um,
Hey, at least you guys survived.
we survived. Yeah, it was a fun time.
I don't know how. I don't know how much you look at audience, but how is the audience midnight showing compared to like the other showings?
I mean,
Like,
it's pretty decent size, because like students, it was just more of a student thing.
Okay.
Again, a lot of it was like students returning to see the show again at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like our more lively audience that we have.
Okay, that's cool. Hey, if you have a good audience, that honestly just makes the circumstance better.
Mm. I believe we also recorded that one.
Ooh, fun. Oh, so we did a family and friends night at Sight and Sound. Should I have even said that? I am spilling way too much about Sight and Sound. Your discretion. Regardless, you know, just a night for, you know, friends and family of cast and crew to see the show before we officially open. The only reason why I'm not making a big deal about, you know, asking you to edit these things out is because we have a small audience. It's also like we don't publicize these things. You know what I mean? I don't know.
So
It's your discretion.
You want me to edit this, or?
Yeah. I feel so bad, John. I'm sorry. I know you don't like going back to edit.
That's fine.
Go and then with the stuff earlier, if you feel like there's something to edit, you know, I'll leave that at your discretion as well.
Okay.
I think mainly maybe the Joseph comment is the one I would keep in mind, but I'll let you.
I don't see the
decide
big
about
deal
that.
of it, but sure.
Because we don't publicize that we destroyed the set. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's a given for theater work.
That's true, but also there are people who aren't in theater and don't know stuff. And be
Right,
like,
but like
what? You destroyed the set?
even then, like that's a given in theater. Films, a lot of people destroy their sets.
Yes, that's true.
So it's
Because
not that big a deal.
okay, sight and sound though, like they try to save as much as they can.
Of course.
Just throwing that out there. Anyways, regardless, sorry. Anyways, so we had a family and friends night. We had an enthusiastic audience. Like it was beautiful. You know, it was a little deceiving, it being like the first show back. You know what I mean? After like playing to like the stage management, and you hear one clap out there.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then, you know, to have an audience to clap right after the first song, which has never happened before, at least when I was there.
Yeah, like
and-
that's what I love about preview nights with like family and friends, because like they're the most lively audience you ever get.
Yeah. There was one point where actually we had more of a proper cheer for something than we did for the family and friends night. Regardless, so I was talking to someone and she's like, the original family and friends night for the Branson Jesus show was more enthusiastic. Like even clapping when the birds flew on set, and I'm like, oh wow. Still, the point is, it was a really fun night. It was a really, really, really fun night. Hey, now I'm wondering, what you said, you know, you guys have preview nights too. I guess that's a typical thing with theater. I don't know.
I mean, it's
I
a
guess,
more recent thing for us to have like a student night, like before the show opens, where the theater students come to see the show, because they're required to come. This way, they can
Right.
come for free instead of having to pay.
Yeah, I guess we'll still cut it. It's not publicized.
And those are the best nights because they're all theater people.
Right.
So.
Because like one of the guys said, like if they're theater people, they know when to clap.
Yeah.
Huh.
So.
Yeah. It was really fun. It's like the Marvel showing of a movie, dare I say. Not like, oh my gosh, there's Thanos, I love him. Kind of clap.
Speaking of Marvel, it's going on Disney Plus.
Yes.
The Netflix series is going on Disney Plus.
Yes.
With parental controls, which you said. So that's interesting.
Yes. Like I figured, like if they're to, because that's the thing internationally. You know, they all have parental controls.
Correct.
So like it legitimately doesn't make sense to not have parental controls. That's a double negative. I apologize. Hopefully that makes sense. Right. But like, you know, you give your kid the iPhone. Like I'm already surprised enough that, you know, some of the Marvel content is available to them. Mm-hmm. Regardless, you know, you give them the iPhone and there's Daredevil and the kid knows nothing and she watches Daredevil. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm glad that they're finally rolling out the parental controls.
Yeah, you get to like the first part of the show where Daredevil like beats up like these people trying to traffic people. Mm-hmm. Sex trafficking. Mm-hmm. Great for the kids. Good morals.
Exactly.
Very fun stuff.
It was kind of funny seeing like comment. I can't wait to see the Punisher next to Beauty and the Beast.
The Punisher killing these fools.
Which is kind of funny, but also it really seems like some people have a gore fetish.
They do.
I don't get that. Like, I legitimately don't. Like, it's one thing to just say, oh, I can watch things with gore in them. It's another thing to say, I want to watch gore. You know what I mean?
Right. Maybe it's a spectacle of like fake gore. They know it's fake, and like, there's the
I
artistry
guess that makes sense.
behind it. But yeah, general gore nowadays with being CGI isn't as interesting. It's just gross.
Uh-huh.
Like before, when it was like practical, it's like, oh, cool, how'd they do that?
Right. Like the Bonnie and Clyde thing. Hearing the story behind that, like that's fascinating. And then
Bonnie and Clyde.
yeah, the ending scene.
The what?
Are you aware?
Which one?
How do I know and you don't?
Which
Bonnie
one?
and Clyde essentially get shot to death.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying which Bonnie and Clyde? I don't know. The
Wait,
70s one?
are we talking about? Okay.
I don't know. There's the popular one from the
Was
70s, I guess. I don't know.
was there something wrong? What happened?
No, there wasn't anything wrong. It was cool hearing the story.
Okay.
I think what it was shot in black and white. And they had, was it chocolate bags? Like the little bags of chocolate. And so they were shot at, and the little bags exploded. And it looked like blood because it's black and white. I think that
Okay.
was the thing. But like
I mean,
it's known to be one of the goriest scenes, I think. That's what I saw. I don't know.
I mean,
I'm going off of what I remember.
we've
But I could be wrong.
surpassed that.
I bet we have.
I don't remember that too
Okay.
much. So
that was in my 175 class. We had to watch some documentary.
okay. 175 of what?
Did you?
What?
I think the documentary is called The Art of the Edit, but I could be wrong. Did you have
I
to
don't
watch? But I also had a different professor. The professor I had isn't there anymore.
Okay.
He might do some online stuff, but
So we didn't have that.
There. Okay.
Unless it's coming up. Although the art of the edit.
It was one of the first things.
Okay.
We had to do.
Plus, like the thing they're using is like much more recent, or it's been updated. So
cool.
Yeah. So there's that. I mean, black and white using chocolate syrup is like the classic blood.
But that's like so fascinating. You know what I mean?
Psycho, Alfred Hitchcock, the most famous death scene. They used chocolate syrup on the shower, which looked real and effective. Because anyway, fun stuff.
Yeah.
You still haven't listened to the album, I assume.
We talked about that right before we started recording. Wow,
yeah,
John.
but for just for recording's sake,
okay.
we didn't. Yeah, listen to the album.
That is the first quote album I will listen to this week. Just dare I say, to get it out of the way, because I'm bound to forget and make other things priority. You know.
Yeah, I've like kind of stopped doing some mixtape things at the moment because like I don't want to do too much.
Right.
So the last thing I did was ambiance, which I'll have to edit more because like half of it's just from the one thing, and I want to include more. So. There's that. Anything else? Anything else?
I'm not necessarily the guy who's like, I'm so excited to see the Punisher next to BBB, but like legitimately, I'm just like fascinated to see those shows on Disney Plus. Like,
All in
I'm
one
like
place with the movies there as well. Like that's the only thing I think is interesting. I'm glad it's not Hulu.
Oh yeah.
So like having all in one place, great.
Speaking of Hulu, Disney Plus is planning to add an ad tier like Hulu.
A what?
An ad tier like Hulu.
For much cheaper, I hope.
We'll see.
Okay.
So that's to me just interesting. It's like, oh, Disney Plus is just becoming Hulu.
The only place that doesn't have it is Netflix.
An ad tier?
Yeah. They don't have ads. I assume. So that's fun. That's sure. Great. Ads. Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know. I'm still like, if there's ads, why am I paying for it?
Oh, yeah.
That's what YouTube is. You know, I
There's a
don't pay
war
for
going
YouTube.
on.
Oh yeah, there's a war going on, huh?
I don't know
about
how
that.
we keep forgetting about this.
How do we keep forgetting about that?
It's. I mean, yeah. It's like it's important. It's happening.
It is important,
but
but
it's at the
it's
same
not
time,
directly
it's
affecting us.
except for gas prices. My gosh,
True.
$4 now. Like that was just it was like only a day. Like one day, $3.40, nice. Next day, $4. What?
Mm-hmm.
How can I afford this?
We don't like to touch too much on topics too much. My thing is, I don't like war. War sucks. People get hurt. Why can't you just sit down and talk things out? Now, I legitimately haven't looked into the stuff about this war, but I legitimately why does one country have to decide? Let's put another country through torture. Like I don't like that.
Right.
Why does it have to go that way? It really, really sucks. And the sad thing is the fact that that's been from the beginning of time. And the sad thing is, according to Revelation, it's not stopping anytime soon. That's just when people, dare I say, a country has some temper and has to get out of their system for things to go their way, it's sad. So war really sucks, and I don't care how big of a deal it is on the news or how small of a skirmish it is. It really sucks. It sucks for the soldiers who have to kill each other. When did killing each other accomplish anything, seriously? And it sucks for the civilians who have to go through it. Now, I'm not a historian. Maybe war was necessary for other wars. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I bet some historians showed me all things in World War II that showed that war was necessary. But at the end of the day, my point is, it sucks that we have to accomplish things through killing people like this.
And also, again, war always brings out the stupidity in people.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when it comes to racism and bias and all that. So the poor innocent Russian people are getting it bad.
Oh man. So that's one interesting thing as it relates to, I don't know how directly it's affecting entertainment. It's more of a cancel culture thing than an entertainment thing. But there has kind of become the let's cancel Russians thing. Because the issue is the fact that it's the government of Russia that's causing the war, not the people of Russia.
Right.
And so, that sucks as well.
So with my show, I'm I have a Russian character in my show. And so it's that's a shame. I'm not going to change that character. But
right.
It's a shame. The timing is not perfect for that.
Mm-hmm.
So I will give a disclaimer at the beginning of the show when I announce it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, let's use the Trump or Biden example. Some people don't like Trump. Some people like Trump. Some people don't like Biden. Some people like Biden. Just because the president is the president of the country doesn't mean all the people are followers of said, you know. Yes, to a degree, the president is a representative of the country, but the president is not a representative of all the people. I feel like that is pretty similar to
You know,
Russia situation.
there's a boycott on Coca-Cola.
Yeah, that makes a little more sense to me, if you know what I mean.
No, it doesn't.
No, because of Coca-Cola paying taxes to the Russian government, which helps them fund their war activities.
No. It's not that.
No?
Like the fact that they still sell Coke to Russia, but like it's also like the people who are arguing and like boycott Coca-Cola. It's like they don't know how that company works. It's not one big giant distribution going across the world. Each country and region has their own distribution where they make their stuff there, they promote there. It's all different people selling the same thing. So like the boycott Coke is stupid because Coke as a whole isn't the one selling. It's the Russian Coke people that are still selling.
But it's still using the same branding.
That being said, it would be against the whole merchandising of Coca-Cola uniting the world by not uniting the world and leaving one out.
Yeah. I don't have too many thoughts on that, just in boycotting in general.
Yeah.
Boycott if you want to. Okay?
But be smart about it.
Here's my thing. I since the George Floyd thing, I've been tired of public media spectacles.
Yeah.
And so if I choose to boycott Coca-Cola, I'm not making a big public deal about boycotting Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? Now,
I'm not
maybe
my grandparents.
I'm saying like, hey, maybe some said information might influence my decision to boycott something, but I'm not going to post 10 Facebook posts about why I'm boycotting Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? I'm tired of having to the noise. That's my point. So that's kind of been my issue with the boycotting thing in general. I will see why, or maybe not so deeply. I'll check like the first 3 tweets and move on. I'll see a little bit why some people are boycotting said company, and I'll go from there. You know what I mean?
Anyway,
I don't do the noise. That's all.
Anyway, Batman was a good movie, and I think
we'll end there. Did you hear it's not playing in Russia? Did you hear about that?
Oh, I heard a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, they're halting releases in Russia. Like, again, there's some Russians who don't want more. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not smart in things. I don't.
Again, I think that kind of stuff is dumb.
I hope people realize that it's not all of Russia that is wanting war. That's just all I hope people remember.
Anyway, I think that's it. We should end here.
Really? Quick something.
Hot topic. All right.
I got my shirts. They're in the dryer right now. They're dry at this point because I've been talking to you for a bit. Regardless, I took a look at them. A few of the shirts, I guess I probably should have had a little better expectations, maybe. Not better. Lowered my expectations a little bit because everything always looks amazing on here. And here, let me say, that was such a negative opening. I'm so happy about my shirts. You know what I mean?
Right.
But still, shirts are always a tricky thing because they're hard to translate. from digital to print. So a few of the shirts I had the pleasure of already seeing in person. The Spider-Man Doctor Strange shirt, which is cool.
Our
I saw
audience
that.
can see this, by the way.
Yeah, they really can. Sorry. And we didn't even talk about this.
No, we didn't. This is
We
after the recording.
No, we did. I bought a handful of shirts from Hot Topic. I'll say the one shirt, I guess the Iron Man, the Avenge the Fallen one, was a little, but at the same time I should have been expecting that for that kind of shirt. You know what I mean?
You bought it?
Yeah, I bought it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll say the one shirt that in color really disappointed me was the Hawkeye shirt. It was like a down arrow with the comic based aesthetic with the purple and the yellow. The promotional material for Hawkeye had very bold purple, and the yellow was in the logo was bold as well.
Mm-hmm.
The coloring of the shirt is very pale in comparison.
Gotcha.
That was a shirt that really caught me by surprise. Regardless, I think it's really cool. Like I say, I wear a lot of flannel unbuttoned, so to have a more center focused shirt is really cool in my mind. So I just want to throw that out there. It was just interesting. At the end of the day, I'm so happy that I have these shirts. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. This makes me so happy. But I'm a happy boy, despite a few missteps. Like, I'm very happy that I have these shirts. So, yay! So, Hot Topic is really cool if you want your freaking merch for some things.
Sure.
Because it's licensed. That's the thing. That was my thing when looking for shirts, is that it's hard to find official. It's really easy to find unofficial stuff. And it's hard to know if it's official. So to know that all of the stuff from Hot Topic is licensed gave me confidence when I purchased my material. So yeah. Just wanted to throw that into the atmosphere.
Yep. Anyway, thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.